Hey besties, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. It's your girl Jen, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm a college student at Cal State Dominguez, and I love talking about books and other things with you guys. But if you're not new here, welcome back to the chaos. In today's video, I figured it would be kind of fun to start a series on my channel. I will do two separate ones, and they will have 4 parts in them. Let me just get down with it, right? So this first part this first series is going to be like the best books of 2026. I will add a new playlist of like the best books of each year. And it'll just be like from 2025 to 2026, 27, 28, etc. as long as I'm doing this channel. And in another playlist, it'll be like the worst books of 2025, 26, 27, 28, etc. This is going to be each what do you call it? Each playlist, each part, each like year, I guess, we're going to have the best and worst, right? Each of those are going to be broken down into 4 parts. It'll be like the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, etc. But we're going to do it on more of a trimester system, if that makes sense. So we are currently in April. It is actually April 4th at the moment. So we definitely missed April Fool's Day. What did you guys do? Put it in the comments. I saw a lot of things. I play Genshin Impact. I saw so many like POV, it's Genshin Impact, and like some new characters being released tomorrow. And I'm like, are you sure? Or if you're one of the book talk girlies and you are catching up, or if you are caught up with Sarah J. Maas's thing right now, she's already gone on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She has, announced that she's currently working on book 6 and 7, or I think they're already done, to be honest, but they're going to like, book 6 is going to be published later this year in October, and book 7 is going to be published early next year in, I don't even know, I think it's like January, February, but like really early next year, etc., etc. But April Fools, like the people were like posting like, oh, I just got my early copy, or like all these random title things. So it was really funny. That's kind of like a side note that I thought was hilarious, but we are indeed in April. It is April 4th, and we are recording so that we can upload this video for a later date. You already know your girl's a college student. She's busy as hell. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I do have a couple of drinks on hand right now. One is alcoholic, one is non-alcoholic. The Gatorade, obviously, here is meant to like keep the electrolytes up so that I'm not like super hungover later. Also, let me know how the audio sounds. I'm currently in the living room. The acoustics in here are crazy. Like I can hear my voice coming back to me low-key with the echoes. And then also we are trying the pink lemonade buzzball that came out. I bought a giant one at the Walmart. It was $20. I was like, fuck it, I have to try it because maybe I just want to like have an Alani on hand and like try it. I don't know if you guys were like caught up with or I don't know if you guys were like drinking last year, but if you were, Walmart also had a like giant buzzball of the Witch's Potion that coincided beautifully with the Alani Witch's Brew, and you could not taste the alcohol in it, let me just tell you. But anyways, that being said, I need to find an Alani that would pair well with this drink so that we can have our Alani alcohol fix. But for now, we have regular pink lemonade from Minute Maid, and then we also have the pink lemonade buzzball. So here we go, right? This video specifically is going to be the best books of 2026 so far. We are in trimester 1. I'm just going to call this a quarter video because there's only 3 quarters in a year. So this will be a triter. No, that sounds so stupid, but this will be like part 1 out of 4, right? So we're going to be following the last 3 months, so January, February, and March. These are going to be the best books. And so without further ado, let's take a nice little sip and then we'll get into January's books. So as you guys know, in January, we did our Throne of Glass reread. This, as you guys know, is my favorite series. I have to read this at least once a year, once every 2 years to get my fix. Because if I don't, I am just thinking about these characters nonstop. I will say, out of the entire like 15 books that I read in the month of January, Kingdom of Ash, of course, is like the best book that I have read like ever. My favorite book of the year so far. Like nothing can top it at the moment. I will say so far, Zodiac is coming up to a close second, but like it's more unhinged than Throne of Glass. It's very chaotic, and we can talk about we can do like a we can do like a Zodiac Academy like thoughts video at the end of my reading of the entire 24 book required reading series. We'll talk about that, but for now, like I said, we're just doing like the best books of 2026. If you don't know, if you are living under a rock, if you've never heard of Throne of Glass before, Throne of Glass was written by Sarah J. Maas when she was in high school. Her premise when she was writing this was like, what if Cinderella was an assassin? We are following Selena. If it is your first reread, or if it is your first read through Throne of Glass, I personally think that you should read Heir of Fire between Crown of Midnight and Queen of... I'm so sorry. I think that you should read the prequel series. I'm sorry, the prequel book the Assassin's Blade between Crown of Midnight and Air of Fire. There we go. I don't know, that was so hard to articulate. It's That's just my opinion. If you're doing a reread, for 100% do it first. But like if you're reading it first, like you've never read it before, for sure read that shit third. That being said, if you've never read this before, we are following Selena Sardathian. She's Adarlan's assassin. In book one, she is like, well, we as the reader are thrown into the salt mines of Endovir. Selena is a slave. She's working in the salt mines. It's a whole thing. One day she gets called by the king and his lackey, Kale, and she gets called into like this little like makeshift throne room, and basically the the prince of Adarlan, what is his name? Dorian. There we go. We can't forget Dorian. He basically offers Selena a deal, and he's like, hey, if you work for my father for a year, then you can like have your freedom. And she's like, cool, awesome, bet, I'm in. Oh, but there's a catch. Okay, what? The catch is that you have to be like the best. We already know that you're the best assassin, but like you have to prove to everybody that you are indeed in shape and that you can beat everybody else in the kingdom. And she's like, sure, whatever, fuck it. So she competes in this championship game between every other like handpicked assassin, thieves, potions and poison masters, whatever the hell else. She wins, of course, and then it just goes on from there. By the time you get to Kingdom of Ash, there's so much going on where I really hesitate to mention a whole lot without spoiling it. So this will kind of be a spoiler plot synopsis. So if you have never read Throne of Glass, please like skip to this timestamp here where we talk about another book in this another book series in February. But essentially, we are down to the final battle, okay? We have Selena. She's going through it right now. I'm kind of like, this is like spoiler-ish. So if you have not skipped ahead to this timestamp yet, you're kind of going to be a little bit spoiled, a little sprinkled with spoiler seasoning, but it's not going to be like, this is exactly what happened. This is more like the watered-down spoiler version, okay? Listen. So Selena's going through a very, very hard topic right now. She's going through just the most immense torture that can come out of any sort of snuff film ever. It's horrible. It's insane. People are trying to come save her, but she doesn't know that. She's being trapped under this tent, essentially. She doesn't know what's going on. Her, like, so much stuff is going on to her body that she can't process it before she's knocked out, put to sleep, waking up and going through that torture again. She eventually gets saved. She goes through some situation. She meets up with her peoples. There's also so many points of views in this series. This book itself, from I think, what is it, Air of Fire onwards, you get at least 2 to 3, and then plus POVs. It's insane to keep up with, but I do love how Sarah J. Maas like articulated each point of view and kept the story flowing for the most part. I love that. So yeah, we are down to the final battle at the end of the day. At the end of the book, people are dying left, right, and center. This is one of those series that you can't get attached to anybody because they possibly will perish. It's kind of giving like Game of Thrones, where it's like which Stark will be alive by the end of the series, and you just find out as you go on. I will say, I still think about the paternal figure to one of our beloved characters and him passing away. I'm sorry, but he did not deserve that. He deserved a life with his son. It was not okay. I'm not gonna start crying. I'm not gonna start crying. Let me just like get it together. This is so dramatic, but like I said, I love the series. I freaking dream about the series every single day. Like Lysandra has been on my mind lately. Like I get the question asked every once in a while, especially like more often when I was a kid, where it's like, if you had a superpower, what would it be? And I'm like, I want to have the most beautiful wings ever, shift into a bird and fly the fuck away. And then Lysandra here is just a shifter, and she can shift into whatever the fuck she wants and enhance her abilities by adding like sharp teeth and claws and whatever to like enhance her abilities to do whatever the fuck task she has set out to do. So yeah, she's been on my mind lately. Manon has been on my mind lately for a very specific reason that I will talk to you guys about. And I think March is when I read this series, but I have been having a Manon itch that I have been needing to be scratched. And this series specifically will be an honorary member. I think so, right? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm reading the Zodiac Academy, so this will be an honorary member in March. But I need to tell you guys real quick. But we're gonna get to it, right? If I don't remember, I might put a voice note inside. I might not. We'll just see how I feel like editing this video later. It's already gonna be chaotic enough. Okay, so that is the best book that I read in January. I'm gonna take another sip of my little adult drink, and we'll get into February. Okay, it is now February, you guys. We are in February. It is very cozy. The weather is still rainy, not muggy, but like rainy, overcast, like perfect cozy weather, right? It's like get your coffee, get your cozy drinks, and just have a seat and read. We decided to, well, I myself personally decided to do another reread into the what is it called? The ACOTAR series. We already know we read ACOTAR, the first book, and just like forget about it because we read it for the plot, we read it for the world building, and then we move the fuck on because a specific character in that book just doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And that is Tamlin, Tampon, Tamale, Tam. Insert in the comments like some nice little what do you call it? Casual roast for our tampon lady, our tampon man. There we go. He honestly acts like a bitch sometimes, so one could call him a lady, but that would also be like a disgrace to all women anywhere. But moving the fuck on, we delved into the the ACOTAR series again. The alcohol, I can tell, is starting to hit a little bit. Pardon me. We have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of people don't like A Court of Silver Flames just because we are following Nesta. She's the sister of Feyre, and she's just a bitch the entire fucking series. But she, yeah, you learn to grow on her. You learn to love her, and she's kind of like that very bitchy character that has a like a fucked up past that she doesn't really talk about, so she instead distances herself to shit from everybody and is like, you know what, fuck everybody, I don't care about you, I don't care about you, I don't care about you. And her saying this is like protecting herself from caring for somebody because the last time she did, they died. So we're following Nessa. She's in her lowest of the low, down in the fucking dumps. She's going to the tavern. She's like having meaningless sex, and she's just like, she's going through it, right? She's trying to chase her nightmares with something better, or trying to drown her nightmares in alcohol. And so Feyre and Rhysand give her an ultimatum, if you will, and they're like, hey, if you don't get your shit together in the next so or so months, or however many months, you will basically be sent back to the human world. They basically give her an ultimatum. You can either get your shit together, or you can go back to the human world and, you know, live your pious life or your pitiless life over there. And she can't do that, obviously, because she knows that the human realm, they don't like her, they don't fuck with her, she's fey, etc., etc. So she's like, fuck it, I'll just stay here in this house that you guys have given me. I will mope and sulk and do everything that I can to make the person who's supposed to be helping me through this, Cassian, to hate me. And she just goes through this. She goes through this journey eventually where she finally takes a chance. She's scared. She's very much like a feral, I want to say just cat in general. I can't even say black cat energy because like that's very stereotypical. I can't say orange cat energy because that's more Cassian. So she's just giving very like feral cat energy where she's like, any like little tick that you give me, I will snap and I will like scratch your eyes out, essentially. So we're following her journey where she gets to a sense of being okay with herself, with everything that she has done and everything that has happened to her and everything that she does, that she like, the way she carries herself going forward, if that makes sense. This is a book of like friendship and female empowerment, female friendship, which is a very touchy subject for myself. The female friendship that was portrayed in the Throne of Glass series, I'm going to keep bringing this up because it is Sarah J. Maas's world. It's portrayed in a way that like you truly care about every single character's relationship, regardless of like if they're male or female, because it plays a part in the story. And Cassian, I'm so sorry, Cassian is like really important too, but Gwen's I forgot the other girl's name, I'm not gonna lie, but like Gwen's, Nesta's, and her other bestie, I'll put it up here. I'm fucking blanking hard right now, but their friendship is just beautiful. It's amazing, and I love it. They end up at the end of this facing basically like the American Ninja Warrior style of like this seriously Hunger Games level of championship game between the entire Illyrian species. There we go. If you don't know what Illyrian warriors are, they're essentially these winged beings that are technically not fae, but they are. It's like a whole thing. I don't really feel like explaining it to you because me, myself, I'm just like, they're Illyrian warriors. I don't care. It's whatever. They're fae. They're 100% fae, but they're not like high fae. They're like Illyrian fae. That makes sense. It's whatever. And if it makes sense, then it makes sense. And you just keep it pushing. So yeah, highly recommend this series. If you have not read it already, I can tell you there are a couple of nice spicy scenes in it, but it's not a smutty book. Okay, listen, we have some good stuff, but it's more plot driven. Okay, this is a romantasy. This is not fantasy. Throne of Glass is a fantasy romance. This is a romantasy. Get your shit together. Okay, that is February. We're gonna move into March after I have a couple more sips of my drink, and we will get started on this chaos. Okay, I won't lie, I had to take my glasses off. I am feeling the heat over here. I can already tell that my face is starting to get a little bit red. I have very pale skin and complexion, so if I get sick, if I'm overheated, if I'm upset, if I'm emotional in general, or if I'm just drunk, you will see it in my face. So that is where we are at right now. As you can see, we are halfway through our drink here. We are definitely feeling the buzz. I did kind of like a half and half mix of the pink lemonade, the pink lemonade and the pink lemonade buzz ball. So we are feeling it right now. Next, in March, like I said, we have our honorary member and we have our main favorite series. I can say I had to think about it long and hard because I'm like, what even is Zodiac Academy about? Like, I can say I've gone through 12 books in March purely about the Zodiac Academy, including the novellas. And in April, I have read the first three. Well, one of them is kind of like just two very, very short like chapters of a novella, and then you dive into Heartless Sky, and that is what I'm reading right now. I want to say I'm about maybe 30, 40, 50, 60% in there. I have no idea. Apparently on Kindle, there are 1,000 pages in that book. That's wild. That is wild. I want to say that's not the most amount of pages that I've read, considering I've read Alchemized, but she's a chunky book, and I'm listening to it on audio because I don't have the mental capacity to just sit and read right now. It is just a lot's going on in my life on the back end. It's spring break, and I'm working my ass off, and I have nary a break in sight. Here's Tilly. Hello, my child. Hello, ma'ams. Moving the fuck on. As I mentioned, I'm reading the Zodiac Academy series. If you have not read this book before, what are you doing with your life? This is kind of like a very unhinged version, as I mentioned, of Throne of Glass. If you were to take Monster High, the only reason it's important is because people take on the forms of their animalistic inheritance. Like, we have monsters, we have like fae. I'm sorry, they're obviously all fae. We have I'm sorry, I'm blanking so hard right now. We have vampires, werewolves, sirens, Pegasus, dragons, like all of these random like werewolves and vampires, like all these fucking like orders that basically the Fae turn into these mystical beings, these mythical beings. There we go, and that's why Monster High is important and relevant. But it's essentially if you took Monster High, Harley Quinn and Jinx created a bunch of characters and threw them into a college. That's essentially what you got. And we are essentially following two twins. They end up realizing that they're fae. They have an inheritance. They're also princesses of Solaria. That is the world that they are living in right now, or that they end up living in eventually. And the story goes on from there. They are thrown into this college and they are dealing with this bully romance, and it's a whole bunch of things. They are battling against these 4 other heirs. They meet this crazy, like, I'm listening to it on the audio, and the audio for Geraldine is very southern. I'm picturing her as a big, busted, crazy best friend who speaks like jolly, golly, like all these random terms. Like, she loves to articulate terminology that is related to the ocean, to one of her very specific love interests. And she calls him a sea bass. She calls him a fucking clamshell sometimes, or whatever the fuck else. It's very interesting and it's very funny. But like, Geraldine, while she's very annoying at the beginning, she really just grows on you and you learn to just love her. But moving the fuck on, essentially, like I said, these girls are in this college. I'm sorry, I'm losing my fucking brain here. And they are trying to essentially fight for their throne. At the beginning, they really don't want it, but these fucking heirs, these 4 guys, these 4 assholes, tear them down enough to where they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Why the fuck not? We can take this throne. We can take this fucking throne for you guys. We're women. We're badasses. We're fucking powerful as shit. And we turn into these beautiful fucking mythological beings that I'm not going to mention because it's a very big spoiler. I low-key had to spoil it for myself. I'm like, what the fuck did these guys turn into? I'm sorry, but I'm so tired of getting getting edged here by being like, who are they gonna end up with? And who's gonna end up with who? And what's gonna happen to them? So I did some very minor spoilages for myself to just get myself through the fucking day. That being said, sorry, that was like a very long tangent. I will say that Cursed Fates has to be my favorite book that I read last month. We are following 2 characters who made very fucked up decisions. One of them specifically had a very valid reason, but she was just like, I can't do it with you. I'm so sorry. They had a very specific moment beneath the stars to make a decision for themselves. And one of them said, no, thank you. I'm okay. I really don't want this to happen to me. They end up getting fucked over and they have to basically live their entire lives apart, pining for each other and never finding love with anybody else again. There's a lot of anguish and angst, and Excuse me, that was disgusting. The male character is very much pining after the female character. The female character is like, we can't be together. The like literally griffins fall from the sky and like fucking tornadoes and firestorms happen. Like the world will end if we become together. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens there. I want to say that at the end of Cursed Fates, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. At the end of Fated Throne, which is a book that I'm reading right now, they end up getting back together. They end up getting the okay from the stars in exchange for one of them only living for a year. But the other person doesn't know. So it's a whole fucking thing. I'm not going to get into it. That was like a very minor spoilage, but it's not really a spoiler unless you know who those characters are and what they are meant for. But regardless, yeah, moving the fuck on. Cursed Fates, 5 stars. I want to say after the Ruthless Boy series, after the Reckoning specifically, like Shadow Princess was like I think a 4.5, like a very very high 4-star. I want to say from there it gets like 5-star and on. I've been really enjoying myself. It's just like a goofy, messy time. It's very fucking messy, very yeah, very messy, very dramatic, and I love it. Moving the fuck on, we have our honorary member. I dove into the Serpent and Dove trilogy. If you don't know, we are essentially following a Harley Quinn and Jinx version of Manon. Yeah, what do you get when you mix those 3 personalities together? You get chaotic, messy, and fun. We are following a girl. I feel stupid as hell because I forgot her name. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just I read 17 books last month. Don't come for me, please. Okay, but first though, I'm gonna take a sip real quick and we'll get into it, right? So I'll have these 2 characters listed up here, but essentially one of them, or rather, let me just build up the world real quick. We are in a world where being a witch is outlawed and punishable by death. Very much Salem witch trials era, Renaissance, like we are living in a place with no toilets, Wi-Fi, or internet, or electricity, rather. I think there's electricity in here, but like it's very much old style living, if that makes sense. Like very like ancient, if you will. And we are following a girl who's a thief for a living, but also is hiding a deep, dark secret. 1, she's a witch, and 2, she's hiding from her mother, who's batshit fucking crazy and wants to sacrifice her in order to kill off the king's like line of generations. So like the kings, the sons, the bastards, etc., etc. In order for the witches to have a better chance at living and existing in society. We're also following a male character who basically works as like the archbishop's like soldier sentinel lackey who lives his life killing off witches and stuff. And so he ends up following this thief, the girl, and they end up getting caught in a very interesting situation. The archbishop then, in order to save this guy's reputation, there we go, decides to marry her off to this man under the laws of the Jesus Christ. Like they're not like legally married, but they are married under Jesus Christ. It's funny as fuck. So they're playing this arranged marriage type of life. They are trying to get along. The girl is like, listen, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. I need to get my freedom, but also I'm trying to, like, this is also a good space for me because I'm trying to, like, lay under the radar from this crazy ass girl, from this crazy ass woman, etc. But also I'm trying to keep my secret because if this man finds out that I'm a witch, I'm going to be burned at the stake by tomorrow night. Let me just tell you. The story goes from there. We end up following a group of characters at the very end of the series. This is another one of the series where it's like you can't get attached to anybody because possibly some people might die. But at the end of the series, we are basically following the group of characters as they kill off the big bad by finding all these Satin Thirds. I will say this book is a little bit more on the spicy side as far as like descriptions, but there are a lot of sex scenes that are also not like close the door, but it's like, oh yeah, we had sex last night. I didn't know you guys had sex last night. You guys talk about it in the morning with your friends and whatever. So yeah, very much found family, very much like just a group of people who end up having a deep connection with each other. The main love interest is very awesome. I love it. They go through the ups and the downs and the unhinged arounds, and it's a good time. It's a good time. I will say this is like this series itself is probably 4.75 stars. The Gods and Monsters at the very end, which is the honorary book that I'm mentioning in this video, is indeed a 5 stars. Like it definitely scratched my Manon itch, considering that Dorian and Manon are left on a very interesting note at the very end of the Throne of Glass series of Kingdom of Ash. And I would love to say, this is just my opinion, I would love to say that this could be the ending that they deserved. They deserve to be happy. They deserve every fucking good thing in the world. But like, this is what I could imagine for them to have the life they do at the very end of the book. Getting married, like actually officially, like having children, having the best happily ever after possible. And yeah, they just deserve it. They're amazing people. And they're just characters that we do not, they don't exist, bro. We live in a world that doesn't exist. As far as like the books that we're reading, like every single book that we read, we're like, wow, I feel so connected to these characters. They're like my best friends. But guess what? Your friends are imaginary, bitch. Like, these friends do not exist. And that is the paradox of loving to read fiction and fantasy and romantasy and thrillers and mysteries, etc., etc. Dystopian specifically. I'm like, damn, we're living in zombie land, the apocalypse. We have our besties. No, we don't. It's all fake, ho. We are schizophrenic. Can we believe these things are real? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you for watching part 1 in my 4-part series of the best books of 2026 so far. So if you have not already done so, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload a brand new video. It's going to be every single Saturday, hopefully, if I do not mess up the timing and scheduling and uploading of said videos. Comment down below if you have read any of these books, and if you haven't, what was your favorite book this year? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.